Party people.
Hey, here we are once again. How's everybody tonight?
Hi, my name's Evan. I'm 20 years old, and
Hey,
I am so excited to be on Southern Gospel Forward.
it ain't. Come on now. It's only been one or two. Come on now. Everybody knows Evan. Hey, y'all. How are you doing? Thank you so much for joining Southern Gospel Forward tonight on a
Woo!
Tuesday night. Getting toward the middle of the month, and we are so happy for you to join us tonight. Gang's coming. Hey, Tiffany's on the way. She'll be with us shortly. She, Miss Teacher had an open house, and we just gonna let her get here when she can get here. And but y'all are here, and we thank you for that. Hey, if you're watching on Facebook, would you do me and our smiling faces on the screen a big favor and hit that share button? Share us on Facebook. Go ahead and like the page, Southern Gospel Forward. That'd be a blessing as well. And hey, we welcome our YouTube watchers. And if while you're watching us there, if you'd hit that subscribe button, be a blessing. Actually, our Facebook users, if you'd go to YouTube and subscribe, that's a blessing to us as well. Before we get kicked off tonight, we just want to say thank you to all the business sponsors that you saw when we were going through our countdown, and some of our individual sponsors. We have a lot of repeats. Y'all see these names a lot, and they are blessings to us. They keep our bus on the road. I tell you, Alice Baines, John Barker, Daniel Garrett, Claire George, Daniel Hayes, Anthony Pritchett. We appreciate y'all so much. Y'all are a blessing to our team, and thank you. Thank you for being part of the family. We are going to change gears a little bit tonight. We normally have some artists that sing and travel the road on the buses singing the gospel, but we have also had industry insiders and other people that work within Southern Gospel. And usually, we lean toward a younger age. Tonight, we are on the fringe, of this younger age. We're going to go younger at heart tonight because it's the same age as me, y'all. So I'm still young. So come on with it now. Let's put that in there. But will y'all put your hands together? Make welcome from Singing News Radio, Joseph Reed.
Mm.
Woo!
Well,
Hey, brother.
I'm gonna clap for myself and all of the fringe out there.
Hey, it's good to be fringy,
It,
right?
it's a new nickname that I'm actually going to get a shirt made, Scott, and
Okay.
it's going to say I'm the fringe.
I love it. I love it. Hey, do it. You got 6 weeks before NQC. Put it on the table. Folks will buy it,
I'm
man.
the fringe. I got tickled at you telling me or announcing me last time on the show I was watching, and you said, "Hey, we're going to have a guest on next time." Now he's kind of the fringe, and I thought, okay. Is it just to let everybody know watching this all over the country, maybe the world, the fringe is where you go before you get old.
Exactly. That is correct. That is right.
I'm honored to be here. Thank you for having me, guys.
And you're a blessing. And I tell you, we are youth focused. We want our mission is to build a community of young artists and young fans. But Joseph, you are a huge encourager to that group, to the young artists and to the young fans. So you are right at home, and we are tickled to have you amongst us. Producer Jason is throwing in several howdies from folks that's already viewing us, and we appreciate them. But Joseph, most folks will know who you are, but maybe take just a moment, act like they don't, and say hello and just give a little bit of your background. Anything you'd like to say if you were introducing yourself for the first time?
Well, thank you so much again. And I just want to warn everybody, at any point you could hear my dogs introducing me here.
It's
I
okay.
think they've barked twice already. If they hear a noise, if they hear a bird, if they hear anything, they're going to bark. So they may talk more than me tonight. I'm not sure.
Fine. That's
But
fine.
man, just a little bit for anyone who may not know me, a lifelong Southern gospel music fan. I went to my first Southern gospel music concert in 1982
Okay.
with the Hopper Brothers and Connie at a 2 p.m. Sunday matinee at Viking Hall in Bristol. Now, my dad took me there. I didn't know what Southern gospel was at the time. I just thought it was a singing. That's what we called it growing up. We're going to a singing. So, but I've never forgot that. And Claude Hopper was selling records from the stage. I think it was 2 for 10 or something like that. I remember my dad bought two of those records. Literally, he would have the crowd raise your hand if you want this deal. Everybody that wanted it raised their hand, and they would have people that would walk and hand the records, and you hand them the $10 bill, and you're out the door.
Yeah.
And so that was many years later. I still have those two records that we bought that night. So, just a lifetime fan. I got involved in Southern Gospel Radio in 1987 when I got my first job in radio. I was just a teenager, and I gravitated to the music. I grew up in ministry. My dad was a missionary to Jamaica, evangelist, a pastor. So, real quick, as soon as Dad saw some talent in me, he taught me how to play the guitar, the piano, and gave me the confidence I needed to get up and sing. So, I was singing and playing music all across the country with my dad, and still working in radio, working in ministry. And fast forward with 25 years as a children's and family pastor and being very active in church work, I'm continuing to work in radio as the program director, director of operations for Singing News Radio Network, and also production for Singing News TV. I write for Singing News Magazine and have just built a lifetime of friendships in this business. And I couldn't be happier. I'm just thrilled. I thought I would be a singer, Scott. And I am. I do sing, and God has allowed me to be able to do that. But I thought that's what I would do in the business primarily, or at least that was my kid dream. Whenever I was growing up and I would sing in front of the mirror holding a broomstick, pretending to be Tim Green and play the bass and sing. And I have had those opportunities. I've been able to sing on the stage at the National Quartet Convention. I've been able to fill in multiple times with the Perrys, with the Blackwood Brothers. And so I'm thankful to be able to have sung and still singing in this business. I sing with a quartet out of Missouri called Four Corners Quartet. We do about 2 dates a month regionally in Missouri. I love those guys. Kind of became friends with them a couple years ago, and we just sing old school quartet music. And that's kind of as brief as I can get it right there, Scott.
Yeah, well, I like it. I love it. You gave us that was the Reader's Digest version of a lifetime, so that's good stuff right
Yeah, I'm
there.
out of breath. I need a minute. Don't forget, I'm the fringe. We can't talk that fast.
I'll just get you an oxygen tank out the corner and just hook up, and everything will be okay. Hey, but yeah, Joseph is such a friend to all, and all artists, all the folks who work behind the scenes in Southern Gospel, and such an encourager. He's been an encourager to my crew here on Southern
Oh,
Gospel Forward, and just we love him to death. And I'm just looking forward to a great night. And without further ado, I'm going to sit back in my chair and listen you get pelted with
oh
some
yeah.
questions from my young host. So y'all
Can you
take it
guys
off.
see Scarlett right here?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. She
A
is.
little bit.
Yeah. She is trying to get my attention.
Yeah. Well, pet her. Goodness gracious, pet
Scarlett,
her.
introduce yourself.
I would give anything if she started barking right now. So the first in the rotation is Tiffany, and she's watching, but I'm not brave enough to try to impersonate her, so I'm not going to. She
Sure.
can ask her a question when she gets here. Um, Being in radio, you're pulling from all kinds of different decades of this music. So if you could put together a Mount Rushmore of 4 vocalists, and it doesn't even have to be all gospel music.
Okay.
But if you put together a Mount Rushmore of vocalists from any genre, who would they be?
Goodness. Does it have to be separated by part? Are we talking about four
Doesn't
parts?
have to. I mean, a lot of people do that, but you don't have to.
Well, keep in mind that I was really inspired by the Southern gospel music of the 80s. That was when I was growing up and identifying what it was as a genre, and also teaching myself how to sing harmony to Gold City's Double Take Live record. So I have, and the Cathedrals Live in Atlanta. So I guess if I had a let me try to come up with a Mount Rushmore quartet. And this is not necessarily me saying that they are the greatest of all time, because I don't really have that. I have like a top 2 or 3 in each area. But I would say Danny Funderburk as a tenor vocalist for me. Lauren Harris as a lead vocalist. If I were put together a Mount Rushmore quartet, without it, now listen, guy, I know some people will be like, "Hey, you got to go back further. This is my era." Baritone, Mike Lefevre. Mike Lefevre made me love harmony,
Yeah.
because when I heard his tone on the Double Take Live record, the one that had "When I Get Carried Away" and those hits, his tone, something. I was just a kid, and when I heard his baritone, when I heard that voice just pierce through that harmony, just so subtly, it made me fall in love with harmony. So he has
Yeah.
to be the baritone, and bass is tough, man. Goodness gracious. I'm going to have to put Tim Riley on there.
There you go.
Not out of disrespect to George Yance, or who I feel like is the greatest current bass singer in the business, Jeff Chapman, my friend.
Yes.
The greatest, not, in many areas. There's so many. Will Lane is amazing. Ian Owens is amazing.
Yes.
But I guess that's my 4 guys.
I'd buy
There's
that
still
ticket.
It could happen.
That'd be a good quartet. And honorable mention to Jonathan Wilburn, who's a very underrated lead vocalist in his quartet days, I feel like. Because
Absolutely.
when he was with Gold City, that guy was phenomenal. And it's hard to leave Mark Trammell out too, who's could be the GOAT,
Oh yeah.
that quartet baritone. But
It's a good lineup.
That's okay. We can carve a couple extra spots in the mountain. That's all right.
that's right. It's the mountains of Rushmore.
There you go.
Yeah.
We just made it plural. We do
Yeah.
things here. When you're on the fringe, you just change things up.
You can say whatever you want to. Good stuff.
So, of course, you also, other than doing radio, have done something that's pretty motivating to me, that a lot of people can see on social media in your weight loss and fitness section. So I feel really bad asking you this question, but what is your favorite road trip snack?
Oh, it don't bother me at all. Favorite road trip snack for me is probably going to be, if it's sweet, I'm probably going to get something as boring as an apple, or something as interesting as a Bear Bells protein bar, which is like a high protein. It's not the cleanest thing in the world, but it's a good, give you that candy bar feel without having all of the junk and fat and calories of a candy bar, and it's high in protein, which is important. So that's kind of the sweet side. On the savory side, I'm going to probably go with some type of beef stick or cheese or something like that. Sometimes I get that skinny popcorn.
Ooh, yes,
Yeah.
I do that sometimes too. Yeah. Now what I want are the donuts.
yes.
You're right, right. I feel like the devil puts donuts in our way.
Mm-hmm.
To try-
Accurate.
He's trying to tempt the fringe.
He is.
What do you know?
Well, speaking of temptations, when we were at Singing in the Smokies, I was gifted, if you see these right, ketchup,
Oh,
potato chips.
okay.
But
Yeah.
all these fancy words right here, like savior and all these French words, these are Canadian, and these are like a delicacy in Canada. I was
Okay.
given these. This is the first time ever on this show that I've been given a road trip snack to try. So, are you willing to sit here and watch me eat a ketchup potato chip?
Go
I'm
for it.
I'm I'm willing to do that. I'm going to request you eat two, and
Two.
I'm glad that I'm not eating them because I'm not sure what I would do with all the vomit.
Yeah, that's
I can't imagine. I
ketchup.
Can
can't
I nominate
imagine.
you to do the ketchup smoothie next time?
Listen, what is the deal with ketchup? I need someone to help me understand that. The fringe needs to know.
So this
The
is what
people on
it looks like.
we,
Uh,
Is this
Barbecue.
a barbecue chip or
yeah.
like a pizza Pringle that's not Pringle
yeah,
chips?
that's what I was
Gotcha.
thinking.
Okay.
All right,
Here you
pop it.
go. Y'all, I've never been this nervous
Come
to
on.
eat.
Three,
Hey, you
two,
got this, Evan.
one.
We're on your side.
Eh, It's not bad. I'll do it just for you.
I bet it has a barbecue y thing, right?
Right.
Barbecue y.
It almost has to.
It's got
Maybe a blend between salt and vinegar and barbecue.
it's like salt and vinegar and no tomato. Like it's like a pizza vinegar thing going on. I don't even know how to explain it.
You know,
But
every time I go through the grocery aisle, it's full of pizza vinegar. That's all I
yeah,
see. Just bottles
pizza
of
vinegar.
pizza vinegar out there.
There you go. That's my review on
It's very,
Canadian ketchup chips.
that
All
pizza
right, there you
vinegar,
have it.
that's some good stuff.
There you have it. All
Pizza
right,
vinegar,
Avery.
baby.
I'm gonna try to save
Yeah.
it as much
Yeah,
as I can.
Yeah,
rescue
that
us.
pizza vinegar,
Rescue
that'll
us.
get you every time.
So, working with Singing News,
Yeah.
what has been the coolest experience you have gotten to do through that so far?
Oh man, that's so tough. It's so good. It's such a good question. So tough. One of the coolest was today. I was able to interview at length the Archers, but that's more of a CCM. But they're releasing a record that will hit the Southern gospel market too with a lot of their hits. Because actually, the Archers, when you go back into their era in the '70s and on, you'll find that it kind of fits today in many areas. And I always say this: the Southern gospel is this big umbrella,
Mm-hmm.
and under it are different styles of music. It's one of the rare genres that do this,
Yep.
and those different styles stay. Because country, '90s country kind of came out of the umbrella, and you had the bro country and so on and so forth, and then it kind of comes easing back sometimes. But you're always going to have the McGameys, the inspiration. McGamey Legacy, Jeff Tolbert, Primitive Road. Then on this side, you got Joseph Habedank. You've got Karen Peck and New River, Brian Free and Assurance, Triumphant Quartet. There's just so many, and the Isaacs, and Chosen Road. So it's just big umbrella, beautiful, full of different things. So, but special moment that stands out, just being able to talk. Okay. Oh, I've just got one example. I don't know if it's the favorite, but I'm able to host the red carpet on the Dove Awards each year, which is really cool.
Yeah,
That's
that
really
is
cool. So through that, I've met a lot of people in the contemporary Christian world who came through, and can I tell a quick story?
yeah, absolutely.
So picture this: last year on the red carpet, from anyone from Ben Fuller to Forrest Frank or whomever is coming through. The Doves the GMA has been so kind to us and have allowed us to be on the red carpet to interview the artists. And of course, we want to highlight the Southern gospel artists. That's what I do. That's where I work. But I talked to some Christian artists in other genres, and you 3 times in the same night. I'm talking to them and they're like, "Oh man, Singing News. So what do you do?" And I'll say, "Well, we're primarily a Southern gospel media company. We have radio, TV, and magazine, and we're Southern gospel." 3 times that night from 3 different CCM artists. Oh my gosh, I love Southern gospel music. I love Gold City and Karen Peck and New. I mean, these are people that one of them was a hip hop artist.
Oh wow.
And he said I was raised on Gold City, and you get to see the impact that Southern gospel music has had on people that are up there,
Yep.
singing way different styles of music, all for the same purpose. So that's pretty cool.
That is
Gold City
awesome.
was mentioned 3 times, about three different artists, and
Wow.
other artists too. But I text Danny that night. I said, "Bro," I said, "apparently Gold City's the most popular thing here at the Dove Awards red carpet."
Hey,
He's
well,
seeing the inspiration.
yeah, Gold City from that era that you mentioned that you and I grew up with, the moving up and double take albums.
Yeah,
Gold City was taking Southern gospel, and they were really on the edge.
yeah, they
They
were.
were borderline, moving toward things that might have been considered early contemporary, CCM stuff. So it's not surprising that some
Well, Midnight
CCM runs.
Cry was a huge contemporary Christian hit,
Yeah,
Yep.
by another artist. So
absolutely.
you can see how as long look, all of us that are sitting here in this room and many of the people watching this are true blue Southern gospel fans to the ends of the earth. There'll
Yes.
never be nothing more special to me than Southern gospel music. I love multiple styles and genres of music. I love bluegrass and on and on. But as long as the core message is genuine,
Hmm.
Yep.
and that's even true for Southern gospel artists, if we don't have at our core the desire to bring people to Christ, and B, to encourage the believer, if we don't have that at our core, then any success we have is just fluff.
That's good.
Bang.
At our
You got it.
core, we have to have, there's business, and there's bills to pay, and there's marketing, and there's outreach. All of that is very, very important for
Yes.
for the future of our genre. I'm 100% supportive. But at our core, may we never lose the true meaning of what we do. First is to draw people to Christ and encourage the believer. And I think as long as any genre of music has that at their core, then I'm on board with it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Preach on. Amen. I agree with you. Well, you guys have jumped in, some of y'all, in the comments, and we will throw some of those up here and maybe a question or two. Kind of a
Now,
little
this is
bit low
this
on the
is what
question.
scares me,
Oh,
actually.
yeah. Oh, well, look, now we protect, we weed out.
Hey,
So,
the fringe can take care of itself.
all right. There you go.
But,
All right. First up, what up, Reed Maniacs? Reed
oh,
Maniacs.
hey, Zach.
Zach Stan. Yeah,
Reed Maniacs. He's wanting me to Hulk Hogan it up. Let me tell you something, brother. All the Rita Maniacs out there are running wild on Southern Gospel Forward, brother. You need to look out. We're coming to town.
all right.
That was
I
great.
had to take my hat off in observance for that.
Scott,
That was
dude,
good stuff.
when you took your hat off, about lost it. Bro done a moment of silence.
Had a moment of silence. Hey, I was told as a little boy to take my vitamins and say my prayers by the Hulkster. That was back
That's
in the
right.
day now.
Oh, I love it.
Anthony Pritchett, one of our individual sponsors and vloggers. Howdy, friends. And Joseph. Enjoyed meeting him at NQC. To Joseph, keep up the good work of encouragement to young people, brother. Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate that very much. It's always good to see you, Anthony.
Yeah, he's a blessing. John Barker, another one of our individual sponsors. Evan, glad to see you back. Man, ain't that a pretty face to see?
Oh yeah, man! I tell you what.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, I love this. I
Gonna
love
go
this theme we're going. Miss Elaine Harcourt, another supporter of our show. Joseph Reed is a great guy. I
Oh,
second
thank you.
that motion. All in favor, say
You're so
aye.
sweet. Thank you.
Hi.
Hey, if Joseph and Scott are on the fringe, I'm in the rough. Papa Bradford. That's Robert Bradford. Bless his heart. He's just a couple years older
Oh
than us. Not
man,
much. No,
we're
not that much.
just trying to get to the green, Robert.
That's good stuff. Let's see. Jackson Smith, Joseph, and several clappy hands. If you know, you know.
Oh, I do know, Jackson.
Okay.
I do know.
We'll let that lie, I reckon. Let's see what else we got here.
Let's pray
Tiffany,
for
she
Jackson.
is on.
Hashtag pray for Jackson.
Pray for Jackson. Tiffany Roby is in the car en route and commenting, and I think this is on the ketchup potato chips. They are actually not bad. I'm going to take your advice.
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
your. I'm gonna take your.
Wash it down with an ice cold ketchup smoothie.
Allison West is gonna stick to her Doritos. Yes, ma'am. I think I will too.
Nacho or Cool Ranch?
Nacho.
Mm.
Hey, Dale Forbes, thanks for
Either
checking
one.
in. Appreciate you watching us, brother.
I'm so proud of Dale, man, the new vocalist with Guardians. Dale is Dale is one of my favorite human beings, and I mean that. Just a sweet man who has always been kind to me, who is a very has been a very underrated singer in his career. Glad to see him back in the saddle on a national level. Of course, he was spent
Mhm.
some time with Port City Quartet, my
Oh
buddy
yeah,
Terry Carter too before. But so happy for Dale. Didn't mean to
absolutely.
interject there.
Yeah.
Oh, you're good.
One of
That's
the
good
best
stuff.
encouragers that we have in this music.
Oh yeah,
Dale
absolutely.
Forbes is a friend for sure.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, John Sim, who I think gave those chips to Evan, said he is actually sitting in the No Frills parking lot where he bought those. So thank you for the entertainment, Brother John.
Yeah.
Rachel Baines checking in and asked, what's your favorite scripture, favorite hymn?
Okay. Yeah. Favorite scripture is in Lamentations chapter 3, verse 22 and 23. The writer there was writing, well, think of what the book's called, Lamentations. It's lamenting. The root word is to lament. When you lament, it's not very happy. It almost has a depressing meaning to it. You're
Right.
lamenting, you're grieving, you're troubled, you're disturbed, you're weary. And so it's not the most popular book in the Bible. It only has 5 chapters. But if you take chapters 1 and 2 and then 4 and 5, the chapter right in the middle there, 3, after all this with chapter 1, 2, and 3, talking about, he mentioned things like my teeth have been broken with gravel stones, and talking about just how terrible things were and how he felt. But then he says, in the middle of all that, he says, but it is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed.
Mm,
Mm.
His compassions fail not. They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness.
amen.
So right in the middle of 1 and 2 and 4 and 5 of all this lamenting and grief, right in the middle of that is this scripture of pure hope. And a lot of people don't realize that great is thy faithfulness comes out of Lamentations right in the middle of heartache. And I think that we all can learn a lesson from that when we are in the middle of trouble and it just seems like things are not going well on every side, it is of the Lord's mercies that we're not consumed. His compassions don't fail. They are new every morning. Great is his faithfulness. In the good times, in the bad times, he is faithful. That's my favorite scripture of all time.
Good.
And my favorite hymn, man, that's tough. You know what? I don't know it's my favorite, but I'm gonna throw out one that ain't sung much, and that's "Unclouded Day." I love
Yeah,
that.
Yes,
I love it.
that's Johnny Cash's favorite one.
Well, hey, he was on the fringe too.
A
Oh, Johnny.
little
Yeah.
bit.
Matt John's on the green.
That's good stuff. All right. I think we may be at a stopping point on those comments and questions from, but y'all keep throwing them in there. And hey, keep those shares going. We got a good crowd watching us live. Y'all keep helping us draw some. If you'll share us on your Facebook and tell folks that we are live and they need to come listen to what
Yeah,
Brother
yeah. Go share this. If you're not sharing it, I mean, what's wrong with you?
sharing is caring.
Just share it.
Yeah.
Just share it.
Share it, man. Come on. All right. Well, let's, I
Oh, I
tell
saw
you,
Lee Edwards in here, by the way. Lee, I think I saw Lee in here. Lee, it's good to see you. Him or Marissa. Lee, I sing with Four
okay.
Corners Quartet. As a matter of fact, this weekend we're singing in Thayer and Alton, Missouri, and so I'll see Lee here in a few days. I love Lee.
Excellent. Fantastic. Um, all right. Let's go. How about another round of question, gang? Y'all ready?
Ready?
I ain't
Absolutely.
scared.
Well, you shouldn't be scared. This is an easy one, I think. I'm glad you brought up the Four Corners Quartet because I was going to give y'all a plug because I really, if y'all haven't heard them, go check them out on social media, YouTube, whatever, because they're doing really good stuff. But
Thank you.
I ask this usually of all the artists that we have on here. What are some songs past that you would like to bring back at some point if you could?
Say that question one more time, bro. What are,
Songs from the past
oh,
that
oh,
you might want to bring back at some point. What are some of those that you would like?
We Shall See Jesus, the cathedrals. Lord, I Want to Love You More, that was on Live in Atlanta by the cathedrals, that I believe Kirk wrote. That song is awesome. I believe you said songs, right? Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, I
Yeah.
kind of cut out just for a second, so I want to make sure I'm giving right answers. I thought of a song the other day that I told someone needs to re-record that. I'll try to think of it and answer it, but it was a good one, and I thought someone needs to revisit that. But I'm glad when artists do that.
Mhm.
When you're in radio as a program director, part of my job is to program the music. So if it gets played on our network, it's because that I've sat down, with some people in the industry that I value their input, and then I make a decision on, what songs we're going to add, what songs we have to pass on because we don't have enough inventory. And you see, like Triumphant came back out with "Saved by Grace," which is an old Magruder song. You have I'm Going Home with Jesus, was re recorded. You have currently, what was that? Oh, the Mylan Hayes family just brought back So Much to Thank Him For,
Oh, mercy. What a
That
song.
one's
which
Yeah.
most
And
people would remember. Go ahead, Evan. What was that?
My God will send to Moses on that same album with the
Listen,
cathedrals back in the day. Ooh,
thank you for mentioning what a great song. The Cooks. Well, there's a song by them called "Earth's Loss is Heaven's Gain." If Go find it, it's incredible. Someone should re-record that. And some people may have heard "So Much to Thank Him For" by the Spencers. If you go back, a
Yes.
few people have sang it, but it first went number one by a trio in East Tennessee that I know called the Melody Trio. That was what made the song, put the song on the map, was the Melody Trio. They recorded it in like a basement studio somewhere in Middle Tennessee, and it was not a high budget record, and they released it, and the song just, this radio got behind it because of the message. So, and then you have Wendy Hayes singing it, who has such a pretty voice. It's so pretty.
Oh, mercy.
Her voice. You've got other great female singers like Ashley Franks,
Ooh.
and
Oh, Ashley does not get enough credit.
No.
no, she doesn't. Melissa Brady, guys. I mean,
Yes.
so many. And I'm gonna throw a very underrated singer out right now, and that's Carly Hopper. If
Yes.
you've
yeah.
ever heard her sing "That's Him" live,
Yes.
just go ahead and call the cops, because
Listen,
I mean,
when
she is a fantastic singer, very underrated. Yeah.
when they do the Birmingham Sings the Gospel, they always have cop cars up front, so they're already called.
There you go.
And she did it this year, and man, that caught
Isn't
my
that a
attention
good
and promoted
song?
it. Yeah, that was
I
great.
told them I was so happy they staged that again. It's one of my favorite all-time Hopper
Yeah,
songs. If you've not seen it, go on YouTube and watch "That's Him." It's one of the best songs out there. It's just so good.
so
And
good.
you mentioned the Cooks, Evan. Come on, man. Like, can you believe that "Ain't No Grave" hit in the CCM world, in the praise and worship world, and just blew up?
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And then Karen ends up recording it,
Yep.
and it all started with the Cooks.
Yep.
This
Right.
is what we're talking about. The influence of this music is
Yes.
global.
Yes.
It's
Yep.
remarkable.
Absolutely. Looky there.
Oh,
Yay!
Tiffany's here.
Looky
Hello,
there.
Tiffany. I'm the Fringe.
Hello.
So good to see you.
We absolutely welcome Tiffany into the. Okay, I'm spooked. there was just a big bang in my studio, and I'm in here by myself, so I'm looking
It's
around to see if
probably.
I've got a booger coming in.
I'm sure my dog has headed your way at this point.
Oh, me. So good to see Tiffany's smiling face on the panel. So, let's see. Aaron just asked that question, right?
Sure did.
So you want to let Tiffany jump in
Go
and
ahead.
get
Yeah,
one of
go
her
ahead.
questions in, and then we'll pick up with the rotation. Is that cool? All right.
Yep.
I don't know. I kind of want to hear Aaron's impression of me.
Oh, yeah, that would be
Now that you're
great.
actually here, I'm scared to do it now. I'm okay.
Come on, Aaron.
Okay.
Aaron,
Yeah.
Aaron, you
You're
had your
in.
opportunity right here in front of all the
No,
four.
it's all right.
He's taking the high road.
Yeah,
I'm
Let's
seeing
talk
her
about
this
great
weekend, so I don't want to make her mad.
there
Hey,
you go.
if we're
Smart
talking about
man.
great
Smart man.
singers, Aaron is a fantastic singer.
You better
Yeah.
believe it.
A very, very bright future for that young man.
Yes.
Very bright future, by the way, Aaron.
You're very kind.
I'm a big fan of your voice, man.
Well, thank you. All right, Tiffany, go ask your question
All
so I can
right.
go cry for a minute.
Okay. Don't cry. It's fine. All right. So I'm a teacher. That's why I was late. So
Oh,
sorry.
that's wonderful. What do you teach?
I'm a 4th grade teacher.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was
It's, as my mom says, it's lion taming. That's really what I'm
There you
doing.
go.
But
Tiffany, when I was in 4th grade, David Doyle, if you're out there anywhere in the universe who I've not seen since 6th grade, you shoved a chocolate cupcake in my face, and I've never forgot it.
Oh,
Ever. Okay, Tiffany, go ahead.
so, since summer is coming to a close,
Mhm.
but I like to ask this question: what is your favorite thing to do during the summer?
I'm so boring to most people. I love to hike. That's
Okay.
that's
when I
great.
hike, it is the greatest feeling of peace and tranquility for me. It's good for my health. You know, I have a journey I've been on the past 2.5 years, but I just love it. And you know what else I love? I love doing yard work. I'm so fringe with those answers. You know, I just love hiking and seeing nature. Yesterday, I went on a hike on a hiking trail here called Deer Loop. It's beautiful. It goes by a lake, and right over there to the right, we saw 3 deer just looking at us. You know, and just looking over there at that and seeing all of nature, it's just beautiful. That's my favorite thing to do in the summertime. But I also do it year round. But the summer particularly because when there's something weird about the heat of summer and hiking that I love. Like if I'm going out dressed even like this or in a suit and it's summertime, I'm praying for winter. But when I'm hiking, I love the heat like that.
Oh, yeah.
I love to mow my yard. It's weird.
Oh,
You
I'm
also,
not normal.
you also host summer singings. Will you MC them?
Oh, I do, and I love
Yeah.
that too. You know, I've been with Singing News for over 4 years now, and which has been an honor, and I love what I do, whether it's hosting on the TV network or working as part of the crew, shooting TV, or writing for the magazine, especially the radio network, which is a 24/7 nationally syndicated network. So we don't just stream; we're also on around 50 radio stations across the country. So that people would call me and want me to MC their event is just so I'm so honored that they would. And I love that. I was at Shadow Valley, which is where I last saw Avery in person, which was one of my favorite events. It's just so different
Yes.
for an outdoor event. It's very, I don't want to use this term, uh, I don't know if this is the right word, but spiritual kind of.
Yeah.
Um, it's very comfortable.
Yes.
It doesn't just feel
Comfortable.
like a concert.
Homey.
You don't, yeah, yeah, it feels like a bunch of friends just getting together and listening to some people sing.
Yeah, it's
It's
like a backyard barbecue with Southern gospel music.
that I couldn't have said it any better than that. Yeah.
And there was literal barbecue.
And the literal
Literal
barbecue
barbecue.
and gumbo and uh,
Jambalaya.
jambalaya, crawfish pie, and Philly gump. No, not the other ones, but
Oh,
quick story, Evan. You like this because I mean I know that you like you Elvis stuff, and you mentioned Johnny Cash earlier. You want to know the very first song I sang in school?
let's hear it.
So I want to shout out to my music teacher. She's in her 90s now. Her name's Elizabeth Ramsey. She, I'm on it. Oh gosh, whew, I'm about to cry. What in the world? Um, she saw something in me, when I took music in school, and she heard me sing like we were all singing. She would make us all sing songs and learn how to sing songs. And she came up to me and pulled me aside one day, and I was in second grade, I was 7 or something. And she bent down and got to my level and looked at me in the face. And she said, Joseph, she said, you have a gift to sing. And she said, from now, she said, you may not understand it now, but every day I want you to just keep learning and keep getting better. You have a gift. And then she started using me in different school functions. And the first song I sang at school was Your Cheating Heart.
All
There we
right.
go.
Come on.
We had to learn, I had to learn how to clog.
Ooh.
Does anyone know what clogging is?
Oh
I
Ooh.
yes,
the
We,
yes.
bluegrass family
we
loves
were,
song.
I had to learn how to clog. The whole chorus had to learn how to clog. They sent an instructor in. My feet still hurt from that.
Please
It's
tell me
about
there's video of
51.
this.
They still hurt, but that's a cool memory to have. And Elizabeth Ramsey, her son went on to be very active in government. He was actually the lieutenant governor in the state of Tennessee, and was is a friend. Their family's good. So, but Elizabeth Ramsey really lit a fire in me before I even knew that there was such a thing.
That's good.
Nice.
And my parents being the
S-
biggest encouragers of my life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of having a lit fire for something, you said you started in radio as a teenager.
Hmm.
Where did that love for radio come from? Was it just kind of a summer job that
Oh,
became career, or
I won't say exactly where it came from. My dad was a radio preacher. So, guys, back in the day,
yeah?
radio was way, 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 way more popular universally than it is
Right.
now. And even country and pop radio. I mean, we're like if you were on a local radio station, you were virtually a celebrity. It was just how it was. And my dad was a radio preacher, so he had on a radio broadcast weekly on 2 stations in Bristol, Tennessee. Shout out, that's where I'm born and raised.
I love
I've been in Nashville 20 years, but one of the stations was WBCV, the other was WZAP. So we used to, Dad would walk his tapes in to the radio stations to drop them off for that week's show. That, he would pay for airtime, they would play his radio program. And Dad got letters in the mail all the time, and people, it was just a different day. And we walked into WZAP one day, and I was 8 years old, and the DJ there just looked at me when we talked, and he was cutting up with me. He was a young guy, probably like a late teen, early 20. And he said, do you want to do a commercial? I need a kid's voice on a commercial. And when he said that, my eyes just lit up because when you're 8 years old and looking at radio equipment from back then, like you're immediately like, whatever this is, I want in my life. So I recorded a commercial, and then when I would go back and drop another tape off, so he would have me do another one, and he would like give me $5 or something. And that's when I said, whatever this is, I want to be involved in. And that man who done that was Greg Hutchins. And Greg Hutchins spent decades on the air as the morning show host on Singing News Radio, on Solid Gospel before that, and was also a drummer for Gene Shepard on the Grand Ole Opry. And so when I became the director of operations for Singing News Radio and the program director, Greg was still working there, and he was the morning show guy. And so you talk about full circle.
I,
That guy made me fall in love with radio, and years later down the road, we're able, and we didn't stay in touch, but we always, every once in a while would see each other. But what a big impact he made. And then my dad, being on the other station, the owner of that station loved my dad's voice, and he approached my dad one day. He became friends with dad, and he said, "Cecil, would you be interested in being a DJ here, like in mornings? I'll work with your ministry. If you got to be gone, no problem." And dad took that little job because he was a full-time evangelist. And it was then that I was 11, and the radio station owner came up to. I would go look. Let me tell you what my summers, Tiffany, were then. I would when the kids were getting up in the summer or sleeping late and getting up at 2 o'clock and playing football and street football and wiffle ball. I was getting up at 5 o'clock to go sign on the radio station with my dad every day and sit in that production room, and I was listening to the Singing Echoes and the Cathedrals and the Kingsmen and the Principals and the McLaughlins and the McAmeys and Gold City. I would just sit there in the production room and just play records all day that dad was there. And so the station owner, yeah, I would do things, commercials, spots, liners as a kid. And so he approached me when I was getting ready to turn 13. He said, "Hey, Joseph, when you're 13, you can get your FCC license to work in radio. How would you feel about doing weekends here?" I was 13. And it was my first job. I had a real paycheck. I worked Saturday and Sunday. If my dad was out of town preaching, my mom didn't drive. So I would take a cab to work. And back then it wasn't, it was totally normal, guys. A small town, Bristol, like you could take a cab or a neighbor would take me, and I would get to work somehow at 13 years old. And I stayed at some level, whether it was an on air host, program director, news, talk show, whatever. I was there for probably 15, 17 years at that station and worked in other markets too during that time because radio in small markets like that just couldn't pay all the bills as I got older. So I'd always have 2 or 3 different jobs. But that's a long answer, but it was all because of Greg Hutchins inspired me and because of my dad's relationship. It got me in radio, and I'm still in it today.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Nice. That is
Stuff.
cool. Is there any video of little Joseph on the radio or any old sound bites?
Yes, yeah. My brother Sam, who's a high functioning autistic, he is my oldest brother, and Sam is a collector of things, and he still has old commercials of me on air tapes of me. I was 17 working for a large market country radio station in the 90s. Like, if you've done that, like you were the stuff. And so, but the program director was brutal there because they had a locked recorder. Scott, this is cool. Like under the cabinet, they would have a recorder. So every time you cued the mic and talked live, it would record you. And then when you would turn the mic off, it would stop. And so
Okay.
every day he would take that tape out and listen to everybody's stuff. And you didn't know when you were like, "I better be good when I hit this mic. If I'm not, you're going to hear about it." Uh, but
stuff.
that was old school radio, man.
Oh yeah, good stuff.
But yeah, there is audio out there, Evan. I'll see if Sam can send me some of it.
That's cool. That is really cool.
Yeah, I sounded more like Tiffany then.
Look out.
So speaking of radio and your long career, have you ever heard a song on the radio for the first time, and when you heard it, you were like, "That's going to number one," and it did. Like you heard it and you said, "That's a number one song." And do you like have any stories remembering that?
Yeah. Well, let me tell you the most recent one is "Kick Up My Heels and Sing."
Oh yeah.
Whenever I heard that for the first time, Pat actually was kind enough to send me the record before it was a record, and actually, or the single, the record hadn't released, and I think this record actually is being released soon. That has "Kick Up My Heels and Sing" on it. I don't know the street date, but I knew it. I said, but the climate too, because whenever they released it, you have a lot of ballads coming up. You had More Than a Hollow Hallelujah. You're on the heels of If Not for Christ. You're coming off the heels of That's What Faith Looks Like. And you have these ballads that are really really hot. And so I knew as soon as this hand clapping toe tapper that
Hmm.
made you smile and feel good was hitting, I said I said that's going to be a number one song. I lived one when I was younger. Whenever there was this song that you guys might have heard of that came out on radio, that was called "God on the Mountain."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was working in radio when that song was released, and when I tell you, I'm gonna tell you the truth and say honestly, people would drive to the radio station, and we were on a second story downtown, and I would hear rocks hitting the window, and I would go to the window. This is the truth, and it happened more times than I can count.
Wow.
I would pull the window up, truth, and people would say, "Hey Joseph, play God on the Mountain." So help me.
Wow.
People were coming up the steps of the office all through the day, because request line, we had two lines. Back then, they were hot all the time, ringing off the hook back in the day. I mean, in the 80s, forget about it. Your
Yeah.
phone was busy,
Yeah.
and people would drive. If they couldn't get through on the phone, they would drive and walk up. And it was the first time anyone ever hit a window or walked up a step and said, "Would you play God on the Mountain?" And I looked at my dad and I said, "Dad," I said, this song's getting ready to be ridiculous." And sure enough, it's one of the greatest songs of all time. And
And
I
the
lived that. I lived it. That song was a monster.
And the
And
amazing thing about that album was that was the last song. They needed an extra song for the album. That was not in the lineup that was coming, and
right,
then they ran through that, and the rest is history. So
yeah,
that's it's amazing.
and I lived that. But yeah, I think knowing the climate of radio too, there were some
Yeah.
songs though I thought would go number one that didn't make it.
Yeah,
That I thought, but it was the climate.
yeah,
What else is on the air right now?
right.
What is playing?
Right.
Who is it? What's the timing of it? There are a lot of variables when it comes to number one song.
Oh yeah.
Songs that deserve to be number one won't always get there.
Oh, you're absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
But but occasionally that one will come along that it cannot be stopped.
Yep.
oh
And
yeah,
God on the Mountain, Midnight Cry was another one.
oh yeah.
Going back to the Lighthouse, which was a number one song by the Hensons and by the Happy Goodman family,
Yep.
close
Yep.
to each other.
Yeah, I was right back to back. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
right together.
Mhm.
Yeah,
radio right now would be like, I ain't playing that by somebody else. They
right.
just somebody else just recorded it. It
It
was
was
just
the Happy Goodmans, man.
Well,
man, that's right.
the first ever singing news number one was "Jesus is Coming Soon" by the Oak Ridge Boys,
Oh,
the Inspirations, and one other. Help me out, Aaron. There's one other group. There's like three different groups, and they just all swapped months.
yeah,
Some
yeah,
unheard
that's
of
right.
nowadays.
All of them singing the same. All of them singing the same song. But CCM is very similar. Multiple artists will do the same
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
Christian song. They'll record it 12 different artists record it. And music's different. Streaming has changed things.
oh yeah.
I'm proud that on the Singing News Radio app, we have 250,000 listeners annually on the app itself, unique IP addresses that tune in, which is a strong number.
Yes.
And then not counting the terrestrial radio market, which is doing well. Radio is tough, and
Mhm.
as because of streaming, but you got to embrace it and try to evolve with it. It's when I first started in radio, I was splicing reel to reel tapes and playing 45 RPM records.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
and 33 R. I remember when we got our first CD, I was like, "What's this thing?"
Yeah.
I didn't even know what it was. It was 1989. I didn't even know what a CD was. And the first actual group, and this wasn't a group I knew, but the first group I knew that sent a CD to our radio station was the Spencers.
Wow.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
never forgot it. Yeah, Coming Soon was on there.
Yep. Good
Hmm.
stuff.
So the next time I want a song played on the singing news, I'm gonna drive down to the office and run rocks in
You
the radio.
rock it, Joe.
Ironically, it is yet again a second story window. But
Hey,
and
listen,
what an incredible
yeah,
era to live in.
Mhm.
when you lived these songs like that,
Yeah.
and you mentioned Jesus is Coming Soon. How about one of the most identified songs by the Florida Boys is Standing on the Solid Rock?
Oh yeah.
I
You can
love that one.
you can't even think about them without thinking about that. And of
Right.
course, when he was on the cross.
Oh yeah.
But that's just, oh, man, that's good stuff.
It is good stuff. And we got a lot of good stuff. I tell you, we looked up and we're already 55 minutes into this thing.
And I know.
Um, have you got a few more minutes with us, Joseph? Are we okay on
You
time?
take your time. I don't have anything to do but pet a dog occasionally
Okay.
while I'm talking to you.
Well, you keep petting him. Keep petting him. Hey, how about we do this? We'll check on the comments in just a second, real quick, if there's just anything big out there. But Tiffany, would you go ahead and throw in, since we're going to catch you up a little bit, would you go ahead and take another round with a question?
Yeah, sure. So I like to ask this question to all of our guests. If you had to give some advice to young artists, or even I'm going to say young people today, what would it be?
I'm going to tell you what a man told me years ago, and I don't mind mentioning his name. His name was Kenny Bishop. If you know a group called the
Yeah.
Bishops from back in the day,
Yeah.
I was a big fan of the Bishops. And I was 17 at the time and just trying to find. We had a family group, we were doing good. We were busy. We were traveling with my dad everywhere. We were in a 4104 coach, a 35-foot coach. We were we were singing, but I'm sitting here, this eager guy, being raised around, people like Lauren Harris, who was in my area. We were raised singing at Saturday night sings in local churches. That's where we met back in probably '86 or something like that, Lauren and I. So we were eat up with it.
Yeah.
We just wanted to do it. So I remember going to Kenny and I was like, "Hey, do you got any advice for me? We're trying to make it, whatever that means." And he said something that all these years later I've never forgot. He said, "Joseph, be faithful where you are right now. At whatever level you are right now, be faithful and do it at your best. Because God can't take you to that next level unless you're faithful at the level you are now." And I've never
Woo.
forgotten. And it was so, I don't even, like, it was just so powerful. I was just looking for, well, I tell y'all what you need to do is, but no, he dropped something heavy on me. And I thought, my gosh, that is so good. So that's when people ask me advice to this day, Tiffany, I say that because, look, I thought I was going to be singing with the Kingsmen or something, or Gold. That was my dream. I used to, when I was a kid, I would take the Singing News magazine, of to which I work for now. I would cut out the schedules of other groups and and paste it on a piece of paper and write my own made up group name above it and just pretend that that was our dates, in my
Right.
pretend made up mind. That, and I thought, well, that's what I'm going to do. That right there. Now, have I done that? Yes, as I mentioned earlier, I've been honored to be able to do that. I still do that. But to be able to introduce music to a global audience, to be the largest Southern Gospel network in the world, thankfully, and but I'm thankful for all of those out there, from whether it's New Journey or if it's, my goodness, several of them are escaping me right now. Several internet radio markets, syndicated markets, Life FM, Harbor Radio. it, we have the opportunity to introduce music to people and to program it in a way that if you're serious about your job as a programmer, and to program it in a way to where that hour is going to lead people through several emotions to lift them up and encourage them. And somebody driving down the road who leaves a voicemail on the Singing News listener line, and they say, "Hey, at 5:08 today, you played this song. I don't know who the artist was, but I had to pull my car over, and I've been going through cancer, and that song ministered to me." I mean, come on,
Yeah.
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know, it's the most rewarding thing in the world, and so be faithful where you are, and never never ever think that you know it, and never think that you don't need to learn anything else, because you need to learn. I'm still learning. Always be willing to learn and to get better and to invest more time and be more organized, and to show up. Be on time if you have an obligation. Be there on time, and uh, be there with a smile on your face. Your attitude is everything.
Preach, preach,
Don't
preach.
don't go into an opportunity that God has allowed you to walk into, and go in there with an ego.
Mm.
God
Yeah.
can't bless an ego. People might enjoy it, they might like it, but it's not blessed because it's the wrong purpose. You're singing for yourself. Who wants to do that? I've done that enough in the mirror in my bedroom.
That'll
That's
that'll
good.
preach.
That
Man,
is
I get
there.
good.
stale after, you know.
This is a
Uh,
squirrel
Joseph
I
Reed,
wanted to
you need to write a
chase.
book.
Oh.
What, Evan?
I said, Joseph Reed, you need to write a book.
Well, yes, I do, and I'm going to call it "From the Life of a Fringe."
Please.
Ooh,
I get
I'd sit there and
copyrights on that. I get
From the
royalty.
from the from the yeah, stories from the fringe.
Yeah,
That's the name of the book. And but yeah, well, I've been so blessed to learn from so many people
yeah,
and to be poured into by other people, artists, industry people, who are so kind, and people have poured into me, and I've been able to see so many. I've promoted this music. I've worked in publicity. I've worked in marketing. I've worked in promotion. Worked in radio. I spent a few years on the road with Carmen, who some
ooh,
of the people in the you know, 80s, 90s, especially into 2000s, may remember him as an icon, a trailblazer in CCM music. Was able to work with
what?
him, and he was couldn't he couldn't have been better to me. One of the just treated me great. Was a true human being of a man who loved reaching people.
yeah.
And so I learned a lot from him over those 2 years that I was on the road with him until he passed. Just people pouring into me. And, Carmen would bring out his Bible out of the bunk. He stayed on the bus with us. I mean, he's just one of the guys. And he would bring out his Bible, and it looked like he had been through a war when I tell you. Like the pages were falling out, whole books were falling out of it. Every page was written, scribbled, highlighted, markered up, and we would just sit there and talk about the Bible.
That's good.
And one time he told me about the scripture, if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them. And he said, do you know what the deadly thing is? Or if I say it like Carmen, hey, do you know what the deadly thing is? But he said it's whatever that the devil tries to convince you that's opposite to the plan of God and the desire in the heart of God. That's the deadly thing. And if your
Yeah.
if your relationship with God is solid, we're not all perfect.
Mm-mm.
Remember Lamentations 3, you know, for it is of his mercies that we are not consumed. I should be consumed, but his compassions don't fail. They're new every day, man, not every Sunday.
Yeah.
Great is thy faithfulness. I don't look, I deserve to be consumed, but it is of his mercy that we're not. And so if we have a relationship with God, it's kind of like if you turn on a radio speaker in your, say you turn on the radio or your phone in your bedroom, and then you walk downstairs and you go to the kitchen, you can't hear it, you're too far. Well, it's the same way with Christ. The further we are from him, we're not praying, we're not reading, we're not being as active in our relationship with him. The further we are from him, we can't hear him as well. And
That's right.
that's whenever you'll get these, the ego will come in, the thoughts will come in, subtle. You don't even think it's a trick.
Right.
But if you're tuned in and you're closer to Christ and your relationship is good, you know, the devil can offer any deadly thing to you and it's not going to hurt you because
Yeah.
you're rooted and grounded in the Word of God and in your relationship with Him.
It's great.
Yeah.
Amen.
Evan and I were raised on the bishops and Carmen, so you were speaking our
Mm.
language,
Oh my
painting our
goodness.
language.
I
Yeah.
love Carmen. I love him. First question he ever asked me, and I don't know what the time is. I'm sorry, but the first question he ever asked me, whenever I met, he actually flew into Texas. The bus went there to meet him. Then he got on the bus that night. I hadn't even talked to him yet when I was working for him and in person. And what he would do to have the invitation, people come to Christ, and then part of my job was to make sure to have the volunteers there to hand out anyone who came up to get saved. We would hand them a bracelet. On that bracelet was a website that Carmen made with videos of new convert Bible studies of, this is your next step now that you've accepted Christ, or maybe that you came back to Christ. This is what you need to do. So that website was where they could go to get that information. Nothing on there to buy. It was just new convert care. So you would give them those bracelets. So we would keep track of how many we gave out, so we would know. And when I got on the bus, I walked in the back lounge where we often met at the end of a concert. He didn't ask merch, he didn't ask attendance. The first thing he said to me, he said, "Hey," I said, "Carmen, man, I'm just so honored to work with you, looking forward to it." He said, "Me too, man." He said, "How many got saved tonight?" It's the first thing he asked me.
Wow.
And, you know, that's, I was like, wow, man. He didn't care about anything else businessy that I thought he was going to ask me first. How did this go? How was that?
Mm,
He asked me how many people came to Christ, and that's what he done every night that I worked for him across the country is how many
Yeah.
got saved tonight.
it's
And then
great.
we'd talk about the rest.
Yeah. What would be different if we all talked like that,
Oh
Like
yeah.
Oh man,
after
yeah.
singing, how many got saved or whatever. That's
That's
I
great.
right.
I
I
love
know.
Carmen, so
Mhm.
Well, he was, he was different,
yep.
very introverted. Shockingly, he got
Wow.
nervous. When he was on stage, he was a different person than when he was off stage. People made him nervous.
Mm,
He was very timid, shy, almost. Really, I know it's hard to
Yeah.
believe, but yeah, he was a great guy. I enjoyed working for him. I loved the Bishops.
Yes.
I,
Were you at their homecoming in 2001?
it's likely. I
You
can't
probably were at
remember.
my first Southern Gospel concert thing, because
Oh,
that was
was
my
that?
first
Oh, no
ever.
kidding.
Yeah, it
Well,
was my first ever.
so that was had stories came out yet?
I was too little to know.
Okay, well, Stories was their final record before retirement, and I believe it came out in '01. But yeah, I was raised on
Yeah.
the Bishops from the '80s on. Their live record at Fayetteville Community Church.
Yes.
Just
All of their
awesome.
stuff is just
Yeah,
amazing.
Mark's a great guy. I love Mark.
Yes, same.
he is. Well, yeah, I'm kind of looking at how we need to shift. Look, panel, have y'all got a question? And some of these it could be possibly be quick hitters, but have y'all got a question still in your satchel that you want to make sure we get in before we get out of here?
I got my top pick questions, so
Okay. Um, Evan, I think
Yeah.
you had a question that you sent to me.
You want me to ask that one?
Ask that one. Let's let that be the
Okay.
last panel question. Okay.
Cool. Many times you're behind the board of the studio. I don't know how much you listen to the music while it's going on. I know some DJs are different than others. Have you ever had a moment you're just listening to a song and church just breaks out?
Yeah, I have. The first thing that comes to my mind was the Kramers. There was a song out at the time that they done, and I don't know what it was. It might have been the perfect storm of a day, or my
What the
wife.
soldiers didn't see, maybe.
No, no, it wasn't.
Okay.
I was having my wife had was diagnosed with late stage ovarian serous carcinoma.
Okay.
6.5 years ago. She was given about a 5-year prognosis, so praise God, she's doing great. The
Amen.
cancer doesn't go into remission. They say she'll be on chemo the rest of her life, just to be transparent, but she's doing great. You wouldn't even know she was sick if you saw her. Avery, you saw her.
yeah.
Evan, recently. She's beautiful. But that process and then reoccurrences and 5 surgeries, it really got me questioning my faith at times. Just to be, I'm just going to say something that someone watching this may have dealt with or be dealing with, to where, I was ministering to youth groups when I was 13. I was, spent many decades as on a pastoral staff, and sometimes you just question things.
Yep.
I'd lost my best friend that I pastored with for a long time to cancer, Denny Livingston, and who was a tremendous writer in gospel music. He's written for Karen Peck and Singing Americans and the Kingsmen, many there, and a great friend to cancer. So I was just having this, and they had a song called, I'm trying to think of the title, There's a Greater God, maybe? No, I can't remember the exact title, but I was sitting there at the studio questioning, like I was like, does it, my prayers even hitting?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was just being real. Don't nobody think bad of me for it, but
Yeah.
like, does this even work? I mean, you
Yeah.
know, and this song came on that said, uh, it might have been There's a Greater God. I think that's the name of the song. And when I heard it, I just broke down. And I thought, you know what? Yes, there is. And we don't get it. We're products of the curse here. we're, everything that happens is it could be terrible. There are car accidents and children who are suffering and so many
Mhm.
things that just we're victims of a world that's sinful. And but we, no matter what happens in that, it doesn't change who God is or what his abilities are. It just
Mhm.
means it's a product of life.
Yeah.
And so I had a full-blown meltdown in there, snotting and crying. And it really encouraged me and got me out of that little slump at the time. And I contacted the Kramers and let them know that, which they were very, very touched and appreciative of. So that's one that comes to mind. But yes, multiple times.
That's great. That's
Love it.
great, and that's
Yeah,
real. That's just real. That's just
that's just
real
real
life.
talk,
It's
man.
just
That's why
real
I'm
life.
here. That's
Yep.
why I'm here. Just throw the
Yep.
script out the window. That's what I say on my show.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely wanted that question in because I felt like we would have an answer
I'm
to
glad I
inspire.
asked it
Yeah,
now. I'm
there you
glad
go.
I asked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of
Um,
my favorite parts of Shadow Valley was watching your wife Brandy worship the whole time. I mean,
Oh,
she the whole
yeah.
time, the whole weekend.
you know, and she's not a Southern gospel person.
Really, you would have
Her
never known
dad.
it from that
No, no,
weekend.
no. Her dad's a pastor, born and raised in church. Very good singer. She sings praise and worship every Sunday. But not a big Southern guy. She's familiar with it, but if I told her, "Hey, who are the Kramers?" She'd be, "I'm not sure." But but she loves Karen, and
Yeah,
they haven't had a chance to connect. Other than Karen will contact me sometimes and say, "I just want you to know I'm praying for Brandy." Karen's just this. If there's a sweeter person on God's earth, I don't know who it is.
Hmm.
And so Brandy was like, she had been able to hear Karen before from a distance at the Ark when she went with me once. And she said, Karen kept saying, "I got to meet Brandy." Brandy kept saying, "I got to meet Karen." So she came down, and then she was like, "Well, I'm going to come back tomorrow."
yeah.
And she loved it. I said, "See, I told you."
I've never known she wasn't a
And I
huge
get in the
Shadow
car, and
Valley
I get in
person.
the car. Let me tell you, when I get in the car, she's playing big band stuff, Tony Bennett, Frank
Come on.
Sinatra.
There you go.
She loves that stuff. Yeah, but
I love it.
That's good stuff.
shout out to the Singing Echoes, by the way, who who I don't know them well, just casually, but I cut my teeth on those live Blue Springs Valley records when I was a kid, and loved them. And when I
Yeah.
say love, I still got them.
Oh,
Can I tell you a quick story? 30 seconds.
Okay.
The radio station that I worked for all those years closed down. They sold. They're still active, but it's some other station. They're still gospel, I believe.
Mhm.
Well, the owner passed away, and his wife, sweet people. The son contacted me a couple years ago, their oldest son, and said, "Joseph, all of the records that were at WBCV on the record rack, hundreds and hundreds of records." He said, me and my brother were talking, and we want you to have them.
Oh,
And these were records that had my own writing on them in ink from
oh
when I
wow.
was 13 or 15 or 17, where I was writing my,
Mm-hmm.
hey, play this one, or,
Mm-hmm.
underlining. And I've got them all upstairs in my room. It's such a cool thing how they were kind enough to give me those records. So many of those records, including the Singing Echoes, those records that had my DNA on them,
You got them.
when I was 12, 11, 12 years old, listening to those, you know, I'm depending on Jesus,
Yep.
or, or listening to those songs. My DNA who touched those records, now they're upstairs.
That's great. That is
Crazy.
great. That
Yeah.
means much for sure.
Oh my gosh, it's a highlight of my life.
Well, Joseph, before we head on out, I would like to give you a few moments, if you will, to promote anything you'd like to. Singing News Radio for sure, but also your personal
Hmm.
ministry you have through your Joseph Reed Fitness. So
Hmm.
if you would like to take a moment and just talk to our folks and promote that, I'd love to let you.
Well, thank you. I'm very proud. Over the past 2.5 years, I've lost a total of 150 pounds of fat. I was very unhealthy, weighing around 400 pounds at my biggest. Walking through NQC, doing 75 interviews within a week, and I had to go to the hotel room and peel the clothes off of me.
Yeah.
Just was very unhealthy, and I had a meltdown really one day, and I looked at myself in the mirror. And since we're being real, look, when you get that big, even if you're 6'3", you you're out of breath. You can't walk up steps. You're hurting all the time. You can't, you even you take a shower, it wears you out. You feel like you
Yep.
ran a marathon. And I got out of the shower one day, and I got in a habit of getting out of the shower, drying off, sitting on the edge of the tub to rest after a shower. And I looked at myself in the mirror that one particular day, and I said, Joseph, this is out loud. I said, this is the last day that you're going to look like this. And I just poured myself into fitness and nutrition. I went back to school. I became certified as a personal trainer. I've got about 6 different certifications, and as of this past winter, I became a certified nutritionist,
Mm,
and have just poured my life into getting healthier. You
great.
know, that's something you never, for some reason, no pastor ever mentioned that to me while I was growing up. You know, your body is a temple, but
I tell you, you
you know,
don't hear many sermons on gluttony.
no,
You know what I'm saying?
no, you don't, man, and you know why?
Oh, I know.
All day singing and dinner on the ground's
Oh,
really
I
all
know.
day dinner and singing on the ground's what that is.
Amen.
Mhm.
That would
You
get a
know,
preacher run out of a church quicker than preaching on tithing every Sunday. If he started hitting the
that's right.
gluttony.
And I'll tell you this, you bring it up, it makes people uncomfortable. But I'm zero judgment. Sometimes I'll be eating with people and they'll say, do we go to Waffle House? Of course. They're like, but can you eat that? Sure, I can eat eggs. What
Yeah,
do you mean?
yeah,
You know, but I'm not judgmental anybody's eating habits. I never get on to people. I'm just here, and I try to now pouring myself into the life of other people. I have clients who have lost 50 pounds,
awesome.
60 pounds, that have their lives have been changed. Then I'm able to do that, to share the passion I have for that, and give it to other people. And teach them how they can become healthier. We're of no value to others if we're not here.
You're right.
And in order to be here longer, we've got to be
Yeah,
healthier. And, some people think, well, when it's my time. Well, you can think that way, but we're a product, remember, of the curse. So heart disease and, all of a lot of that's got to do with genetics, not because God wished it upon us or it's his plan or his will. So, but we all can do things to make ourselves healthier if it's simple as moving a little more or in the way that we eat. So I've been able to pour myself into that, and am glad to help people in any way possible. If you need help or guidance, you can contact me, and we'll learn what works for you and walk through it together.
absolutely. And you can find actually Joseph Reed Fitness, you can find on Instagram and Facebook. So
That's
be
right.
sure and look him up there. And then also, make sure that you listen to Singing. You can get the Singing News Radio app and listen to
Yes.
Joseph on Singing News Radio. So absolutely, and
Yes, you can. I'm on the morning show Monday through Friday from 6 to 10 Central, 7 to 11 Eastern. I also host the syndicated Singing News Top 20 Countdown each week that's on over 200 radio stations across the country
yes,
and
sir.
on Singing News Radio. And
I'm going to call in tomorrow morning on the radio show.
There you
you,
go.
as you should.
There you
And,
You might
go.
not
and
answer, but I'm going to request God on the
no,
mountain,
no,
by
no.
God.
Evan, I actually don't want you to talk. I just want you to be eating the ketchup chips
Oh,
on the phone. That's what I want.
Live on the phone.
there you go. There you go. Crunch, 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 and you know it's Evan when he calls, and you just hear crunching on the end of the phone.
Yeah, that
Hey,
Kramer song was Greater God, by the way,
yes,
guys.
sir. I looked it up while you was talking, and yeah, I because I love the Kramers to death,
Oh,
and
they're so good in that. He remembers my sin no more, no more.
come
He
on with
remembers
it.
my.
Absolutely, it's
Come
good
on,
stuff.
that'll get you happy even if you're the
I
fringe.
like that one.
That's right. That's
Uh-huh.
right.
Yeah.
Well, Joseph, we've had a blast with you, brother, and we appreciate you hanging out with us and giving us your time. And I know that our audience has enjoyed this. We've had a really good crowd through the night. We've got one more thing that we need to do. You're welcome to hang with us, or if you need to depart.
I'm
That's your
good.
choice.
I'm here for the long haul.
All right.
I'm
Well,
here to prove that the fringe can hang out.
there you go. Well, we listen. This is episode 23 of season 2, and we have got one more left. One more episode for season 2, and
Come
then we're
on,
going to kick
Tiffany.
off. You know what we're going to do? We're going to haul off in a few weeks after that and kick off season 3. How about that? But anyway, right now, for season 2, we thought we would end it with a bang. And I put a little something out there, and it was kind of like that little meme you see where it's like, see, nobody cares. But I put it out there for some guesses, and I think we got a whopping 2 guesses on who this guest was going to be. But I tell you, I've thoroughly enjoyed, and this is one of the hottest new artists that's coming along in Southern Gospel. In fact, they are and I don't usually talk like this because I love every artist traveling the road, and I don't usually say favorites and all this, but these folks are my vote for favorite new artist of the year for the Singing News Fan Award. So the guests for the season finale of season 2 are the Rogers family. We cannot
Oh,
wait to have them
oh,
join
that's
us.
great.
Yes, we will have. I know we're going to have the youngins. You never know. We may get some piano playing behind them. We don't know what's coming, but we are tickled to death to have
That's awesome.
the Rogers family join us. That's going to be now. For schedule purposes, it has to be on Monday, so it's going to be on Monday. Make sure you note that, not Tuesday, but Monday, August 25th. 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. We are just looking so forward to having them. Y'all mark your calendars and join us.
I love them, and I'm ready for a radio song. You
It's
know,
coming. It's
I'm,
coming.
I'm
It's
ready
coming.
for it. And
Yeah.
shout out to Jason. Jason, thank you for everything on your end, bro. Thank you.
Man, yeah, he's doing a good job, and because of I got some family situation going on, and I'm got a call that I'm kind of waiting on, and he's not. Usually, he's in the studio with me, but he's doing this in his house tonight, just to kind of help things out in case I had to split. So I appreciate Jason and Dawson so much, and you know what? I appreciate all of you that take your time and you watch us and you comment with us, you share us, you love on us, you support us. Southern Gospel Forward family, y'all mean the world to us. That y'all are why we sit here, and we love you. And I hope that you've been encouraged. Goodness gracious, tonight, if you hadn't been encouraged and lifted up, something you didn't have your hearing aid turned up loud enough or something. Because Brother Joseph brought it, and I love his realness. Brother Joseph, I love you. I love your
I
ministry. I love
love
your
you
heart for
all.
people.
Every single one of you are dear people, and I love you, and I thank you for what you do, and keep on doing this, man. You're making a difference.
Well, we thank you, and so are you, brother. And we just appreciate you so much for being with us. And we will go ahead and wrap up this edition of Southern Gospel Forward. So until next time, y'all just have a wonderful week. We'll see you next time on Southern Gospel Forward.